I want to do it like that. I want to do it like that. This is our first article. It's actually coming from U News at the U. This I don't know if this is a oh Lord, it say it right here. I'm about to say I don't know if this is a Florida school, but it looked like it. It's the University of Miami. But this is from their paper by Michael Malone. And this is about poetry. All things art, all things entertainment. And I'm doing my due diligence to make sure I have articles about poetry because I am a poet, spoken word artist. Um, it's called Speaking of Love, Poetry Gets to the Heart of It. And I found this very interesting because a lot of times I say, I don't have a love poem. I've never written a love poem. I talked about that at my show on Friday. I was like, I don't necessarily have a love poem per se, but I have poems surrounding relationships and love, I guess. So, and I was able, I went through my book and I had at least a good 3 to 4 poems that, I was able to just read strictly from my book. And that's probably another reason why I was able to sell so many. And people are like, oh, okay then. And they just covered all the different ends of the spectrum. One of them I realized it might be time to give it up. We're no longer in the headspace anymore, but I had to get it out anyway. So it says, a lecturer and graduate, a lecturer and a graduate student in the University of Miami's creative writing program both discuss why poetry is the preferred language when it comes to love and how a poem's conceit help to tame this sometimes unruly emotion. I like that already. Love, oh love, the rapturous feeling that courses through us when we see someone or something that fires our passion, captivates our world, and stretches our eyes and heart into a new way of being. That's poetry already. What you know about it? We all know it. We all feel it. Yet when it comes to expressing this most essential of human emotion, such as today on Valentine's Day, we often turn to poets and poetry. Child, child, child. Susan Leary, a lecturer in the Department of English and author of 2 collections of poetry, suggested that all poetry speaks to the emotion. Thank you so much for the compliment. I worked hard to create that background. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Every poem is a love poem, even if love is not explicitly at its center, she said. Whatever our subject may be, we wish to take good care of it, to dignify it in our depictions. That impulse is love itself. Poets strive and very often struggle to get the words just right. And Leary suggested that every poem is, in fact, a love letter to language itself. Whatever we wish to say, we think. How to say it best, how to say it as precisely as we mean it. Poetry gets as near to this wish as possible, Leary pointed out. Christelle Roach, a graduate assistant in the last semester of her Master of Fine Arts degree, asserted that all poetry is conversation and that we use the same language proficiencies, such as making comparisons, using smiles and metaphors when we converse. Poems, intimate conversations, the most intimate conversations we have with ourselves and that we wish we had with others, said Roach. I do agree with that. Yes, I do. I say a lot of times that, I have many poems that I just can't bring myself to have with other people. They're just my innermost thoughts. And I don't know, they just pierce to the core sometimes. Some poems I actually have performed and wish I hadn't because some people don't necessarily know how to take them. And maybe that's the whole point of it. But either way, Yet to make a poem sing, poets accentuate the use of these other proficiencies, such as confidence with using syntax, knowing how to use space on the page, and how to break up a line. When it comes to love, emotion, and longing, literacy proficiency gets to the heart of understanding that poems are built, said Roach. Poems don't just plop on the page, they're built brick by brick. And it's important to have a willingness to take a poem apart to see and examine the pieces to really read and engage a poem. She adds that paradox and conceit and elaborate or especially surprising, sustaining metaphors are important in poetry, which seems from the Black tradition to call and response in music. Mm, mm. I can see that. I can see that. Okay, let's see here. A poem requires both writer and reader to slow down and literally breathe the emotions. Leary also long considered a poem to be a retaliation against time. This article goes, more in depth. If you want to check it out on the University of Miami site. And like I said, it's talking about love and how poetry gets to the heart of it. I just wanted to share that little insight just in case you were like me thinking that you was out here not writing love poems. You probably were. Absolutely. Thank you so much, girl. We're gonna keep bringing it to you. We sure lives. Hmm.